All that.
This is where you say,
All that
hey,
music
and
from,
welcome to Drinking Bros Sports, Tailgate
all that
Legends.
music from Shane Gentry and the Dollar Bills. I can't hear anything in my headsets. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Maybe you should plug them in.
Live. Let me try that. Oh, there we go. Welcome to Drinking Bros Sports Tailgate Legend Show. I did not know we were live, and I apologize for that. I was talking about Shane Gentry and the Dollar Bills,
Dollar bill, yo.
which is the music that we come into every episode. We come into every episode.
Is that what it is?
That's strange.
I didn't even know.
Speaking of music, how's Drinking Bros Sports music doing?
Well, it's not called Drinking Bros Sports Music. It's called Drinking Bros Music, but close enough. It's going. I mean, I'm trying.
Everything is sports to me.
I went live last night at the Great Instill Distilling Company where we did the open mic. And you got a really cool, badass video of me, middle of fucking guitar solo, and you accidentally deleted it like a dumbass. Now I can't see it and show my friends how cool I am. But
sweat was dripping off. The lights were perfect.
I know.
You were in a solo. You were singing with your eyes closed.
I always sing with my eyes closed. And I try to sing Tom Petty as much as I can.
What was the song you were singing?
Breakdown by Tom Petty.
Breakdown.
Go ahead and give it to me.
Go ahead and give it to me. It was beautiful, man. I didn't even know you could sing, to be honest with you.
I still can't. I'm working on it.
Drinking Bros Sports. Listen, we tailgated today. We did wieners, the mini weenies.
Wiener schnitzels.
No, that was not what we did.
Oh.
That's not what we ate today for our tailgate. We ate Little Smokies.
Little Smokies.
For those of you who don't know, you can go to Drinking Bros Sports on Instagram, and you can see a little video on how to make Little Smokies for your tailgate. We're getting ready. We got 8 days until the first big tailgate of the season.
What's the game again?
It's football.
Yeah, what kind of football?
Yeah.
Do you even know what game we're going to?
Sports football.
For those of you who don't remember, like Tansey.
No, I got a surprise for that game.
Well, it's the Clemson.
There's going to be a ton of home runs.
Yeah, lots of goals and slap
No, I've got
shots.
you a really big surprise for this game.
I know you've teased that, and I'm excited for it.
It's Clemson versus Georgia.
Very good.
Clemson versus Georgia.
Clemson.
And I went all in for this game for you. Got up with the old Ross Pattersons. And,
talked to him yesterday.
And we put our heads together and we came up with just an amazing
Which heads
moment
did you put together?
We docked.
I was gonna say, is that?
I know that's where you're going with that.
Well, since we're talking about docking, we're gonna get real weird, wicked weird. If two people have prolapsed buttholes and they try to put them together, can they dock prolapsed buttholes?
Does that cause infection?
I would assume it would. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Are we here at the Failure to Stop Studios?
Yeah, actually,
here
big
in
news.
Claytona Beach?
Big news. We're coming into the big season. We're actually going to get our own little studio. We're working on that right now. Don't know how long that's going to take, but it could be a couple of weeks, could be 1 week. We're going to be moving into a studio, a sports studio. We're going to go all sports all year for the football season, but we'll be at a lot of games tailgating, and we need you to jump on the old social medias.
Me personally, or everyone else out there?
Everyone else, to let us know.
Well, I tried that.
Invite us to some tailgates.
I don't think I did a great job of getting my question across, because I was like, hey, who wants to help host us for a Tailgate Legend show, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, you should go to Boise. Okay, cool. You should go here. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to go there. But I was, and maybe that's on me for not
host
answering.
Host us at your tailgate. If you put on an epic tailgate, you call us and we will show up. We will come bearing gifts.
That is a swing and a miss
do
by
some
me.
live shows. But we want to get involved in some of the tailgates going into the season to really make the Tailgate Legends legendary. We also, have the ability to bring some pro athletes with us. So I know
Maybe
that we've got a couple of games lined up this year with a couple of pro athletes. We don't want to go and drop the ball yet, but we got Rob Jones, we got Matt Dodge coming back.
I don't want to tell you guys who it is, but I'm about to tell you who it is.
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming down the pipeline, but a lot of stuff going on in the news sports-wise. This week, they have dropped Tim Tebow. What's the scoop on that?
Well, sometimes all it takes is one viral video, and your former college coach, Urban Meyer, will drop you like a sack of potatoes. So there was a video that was going around of a preseason game with Tebow's throwing a block.
Yeah. It didn't seem like it was that bad of a block, though.
It was not good.
You find somebody, and what it looked like to me was that he was finding somebody, right? So the play was nowhere near him.
He was coming off the back.
It was, but the guy missed that first read and went to the outside instead of the inside. And he just found somebody to fucking smack into. I got no problem with that.
We live in a viral video society.
Perception is reality, right?
Not for everyone. But I had a debate with someone else about perception being reality earlier. But anyway, yeah, it didn't look good. And I mean, that's not the only thing.
But
he wasn't looking good. He was third on the depth chart and on a bad team. Trust me, I'm with you. We were both pulling for Tebow. I hope they bring him back. I mean, fuck it. But if you can't play, you can't play. He looked lost. He looked like he's been playing baseball for a couple of years. Like he should have done this 5 years ago. He should have switched positions 5 years ago.
I've always said that. I always thought he would have been a great linebacker.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Dude can smash.
He can, but you have to be, as a defensive player in football, you have to be faster than the offensive guys nowadays.
I got you.
And I don't think his speed was up to par. If he, right after the Patriots, basically when he was the third string there, if he went to fullback or tight end then, I think he could still be playing, but now he's trying to play catch up. And if Urban Meyer's not going to take him, no.
He runs kind of like Gronkowski, though. When I watch him run, he looks like Gronkowski to me.
Yeah, Gronkowski looks like he has like a shield because of that big forearm thing that he had to do. And yeah, I mean, maybe Tebow should have just taken 1 year off like Gronk did and came back and been successful and won a Super Bowl. But no, I mean, I think the Tebow ship has set sail, never to return.
No, I don't think he's going to return.
He was a great football player. He wasn't a great quarterback, but he was a great football player, especially at Florida. But speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they just had a big blow. We were talking Clemson. They named Trevor Lawrence their QB1, which we all saw, coming. They drafted him #1 overall. He's the next great thing, the prodigy, if you will, sunshine. But they lost his teammate, his former teammate at Clemson, Travis Etienne.
The story of Jacksonville, right? Plagued by injuries. I mean, this is what they saw with Fred Taylor back in the day when they thought they had a chance.
Look at you.
Dorian.
Mark Brunell, remember him?
Well, Mark Brunell took a lot of knee injuries. Tony Baselli. Tony Baselli was their #1 guy, and he went down with a whole bunch of injuries. So Jaguars, that's been kind of their existence, right?
Something
it's just injuries.
Something in the water down there in Jacksonville. Water.
But you know what? Other teams don't have that problem. And is it just because they have depth? And the injuries aren't so catastrophic because they have somebody that can step in?
Yeah, I mean, every team has injury problems. It's the NFL, especially now with an extra game. There's going to be more injuries. But yeah, depth is the difference. And, the Patriots have always lived by this way of the next man up, right? I mean, it's used so frequently now, but for a long time, Belichick was like next man up. It doesn't matter.
Because we never heard this with Kansas City. Mahomes losing so-and-so, and it's the game over for the season. Right?
Well, they actually, I think a big reason why they did lose that Super Bowl is because their offensive line was decimated. That's why, if you remember watching that game on the Ghost Bed over in Austin, Mahomes was running around like a wild man all day because, I mean, the Bucs were just running around chasing him because his offensive line was shot. That's why they went out and they signed the guy from Baltimore. I forget his name now, but they made some moves on the offensive. Joe Tooney from the Patriots, NC State Wolfpack guy. They signed a couple guys to reinforce that offensive line because if you have a quarterback like Mahomes, you need to protect him at all costs or you'll never get back to the promised land. Right. But I can see them getting back there this year. They reinforced that line. But no, there's injuries across the NFL always. I mean, that's always, I think when you have a lot of injuries, it comes down to depth, like you were saying, but coaching too, because sometimes it's like you invest everything in a couple guys, one or two of them goes down. Then what else do you have? You didn't invest in the guys to back them up and the guys to, have that depth. So I think with injuries, coaching and depth is the way to combat it. But everyone, I mean, you wait week 8, right? It's already injuries now. Go week 8 and see the list. And then you're like, oh shit. Some years are worse than others. I think last year was a rough one for some people because of COVID and the off season was weird and this and that. Hopefully you won't see as much this year because it's more of a traditional off season, traditional training camp. Unless you're Cam Newton. Cam Newton was in the news. So I don't understand the protocols on COVID and testing and everything that they're doing in the NFL.
The Buffalo Bills are already feeling the wrath of that. Their wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie just got a mask violation. Is that a 10-yard penalty? Is that an automatic first down? How does that work?
Not a face mask either.
No, not a face mask, but he revealed his faces anyway.
Cam Newton,
he's an unvaccinated player and he's failing to wear his mask. And you keep fucking around with those Buffalo Bills fans and taking out some of their star wide receivers, and shit's going to get real in Buffalo.
Start to jump on this table and break it like Bills Mafia does. But I don't know. Cam Newton apparently got tested in a different state, and he tested negative multiple times, but because the places he got tested weren't approved by the NFLPA, it goes out the window, and now he's going to miss the next preseason game, which opens things up for rookie Mac Jones to step in there and show his stuff. But, I mean, what sort of rule is that? You tested negative. Trust the science that he's negative, but it's not where we wanted you to get tested, which makes me think follow the money. So whoever is investing in these COVID tests, whatever, in cahoots with the NFL, was like, well, he went somewhere else to get tested, so that's a violation. We're not getting the money from that. And that's my theory.
And here's what I have to say about the Isaiah McKenzie incident where he failed to wear his mask. I guess I need to look more into it. Was he just refusing to wear his mask, or did he get caught with his mask down? Because if we're going to play the game of just trying to sharpshoot people when their masks are down because they're taking a quick breather. I mean, we look at Nancy Pelosi just going to get her hair cut.
No, she was set up, dude. No, they set her up. Dude.
Sure. Come on.
That was all.
We look at the whole Gavin Newsom, nobody wearing a mask at the wine dinner days after he implemented his mask mandate. Are we, just because these players are not vaccinated, are we going to sharpshoot them every time their mask is? It's kind of like when we got kicked out of the Hurricanes game where we removed the mask to eat the peanuts. And then they said, this is your first violation. You take your mask up, you put the peanut in, you pull your mask down. I mean, are we going to start sharpshooting these players and it becomes more of a do as I say, not as I do? I wonder how that looks playing out for the rest of the season.
Because, Cole Beasley came out and was one of the first ones to publicly be like, you can't tell me what to fucking do with my body. DeAndre Hopkins came out and he's like, I don't know if they're going to require vaccines from us. I'm going to question my career in the NFL, and they got flack. Now, the public opinion on that, obviously from reading the comments and everything, is, fuck these people, do what you're told, conform, which is sad to see. Now, do I think that'll put a target on them when it comes to Roger Goodell in the NFL? Probably. I mean, we can only speculate, but I would like to think so because they love to set examples and use people like Tom Brady with Deflategate and stuff like that. They want to sort of show, like, look at the power we have. Look what we can do to you. And you set yourself up. There was a player, I forget his name now, but he said he got COVID. He's big, huge dude. I mean, he's got to be like almost 300 pounds, jacked, right? And he's like, yeah, I got COVID and I was really sick, man. And it was all of a sudden became like a PSA where he's like looking at the camera and like, you need to go get vaccinated because I'm in great shape and I got sick from COVID and I thought I was going to die. And it's like, I wanted to just take his word for it. And any other time I'd be like, oh shit. But right now I don't want to believe anything. And I'm like, is this fucking propaganda? What is did Moderna pay him? What is going on right now? Why is this guy like all of a sudden getting all somber about how sick he got? I mean, guys get sick. Nobody cared before if it was the flu or something else, or if you got fucking chlamydia, which you've struggled with a lot in your life, right?
Today's halftime show is brought to you by Moderna. Well, let's talk some fantasy football. I know you're all boned up on fantasy football.
Well, I am. I got the invite. You didn't.
Well, I have never, ever played fantasy football in my entire life. And I thought this year was going to be the year that I got my shot. I was going to get out onto the fantasy field.
No pun intended.
And I was really going to get my debut that I deserve, that I've earned from doing a sports show for the last 40 episodes. No, have we hit like 40 something episodes,
close to that.
I think we're above 45 at this point. We're tagging in on 50.
I have talked more sports in 50 weeks than...
This is more sports than I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So I think I earned sports. I think I earned the right to fantasy football.
Well, and, Ross seems to disagree because
he does disagree.
Hey, I asked him. I was like, "So is Tansey in this?" He goes, "No. Yeah. Tansey doesn't know shit."
Well, little does he know that I'm going to enter under a false name.
Well, the league is already filled up, so nice try. Don't worry, you can be my assistant general manager for the team. But since we're talking fantasy football, what's your biggest fantasy?
In football?
No, sexually.
Getting railed by Tim Tebow. Oh, you mean?
Well, you're covering both bases there. That's fantasy football in the sexual way.
No, my fantasies with football lie within the tailgate. I'm a huge tailgate guy. I love the food. I love the dancing. I love the cornhole. I love everything about a tailgate. I love it all.
Except for the game following the tailgate.
I don't give a fuck about the game. I'm too drunk to go into that game. I usually get kicked out. Got kicked out of the hockey game a couple months ago. I'm no
Oh, speaking of that just reminded me. That's a fun little story. I was probably, 12 at best, 12 oldest. And the Lynn Spirit, which was the single A affiliate for the Boston Red Sox at the time, which was a town over that I grew up. They had it's basically like the Mudcats, right? Similar whole thing. I went to a minor league game. I was with my buddy. We were 12. And we both got kicked out of the game for heckling the players. Oh. And I wasn't even swearing. I'm telling you, I was saying,
you were 12.
12, saying, boo, get a haircut.
Yes.
Boo, get a haircut. The players would turn around and jaw back at me. Yeah. And they kicked me out of the game. My mom was like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I was just telling them, boo, get a haircut. So our society has been soft for a long time.
I have a fun...
a dick even at 12.
Of course. Hey, Noel, you are what you eat. Wait, fuck. Listen, I'm a masshole through and through, okay? I'm a shit talker. I mean, let's be honest here. Could you imagine when I was actually playing? Such a shit talker. That's why I had a big target on me. That's why dudes were trying to headhunt me at every chance they got. One kid in Pup 1 said, I'll split your wig, playboy. We were playing the south end of Boston, a little rough around the edges down there. Playboy, I split your wig. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. But I soon found out when he tried to cleat me in my testicles. But anyway, fantasy football. The league's filled up. We got some drinking bros in the league. I know what the prize is. I'm not sure if Ross wants me to say what the prize is, so I'll keep that to myself. But I know what it is, and I'm going for that fucking prize. And, last year, the fantasy football league I was in, I won. No big deal. Whatever. So I'm trying to repeat as a champion. But this is the new Tailgate Legends League. I'm going to take it home. But since you don't know a lot about the players and the X's and O's and the statistics, we'll jump right into this. If you were to make a fantasy football team, what would the team name be? Because I have a top 3 that I've thought about that I think are the best. You got to be creative. Like, I'll give you one. Vince Wilfork. I don't know if you remember him play with the Patriots. Big guy. Wilfork on the first date. Good chuckle, right? Not a bad one. It's funny.
It's a funny one.
So think about it. That wouldn't be in my top 3, by the way. But so think of it like that. Like Casey Anthony's babysitter. That wasn't great, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I'm getting at. So you gotta play on words. Some players, have names that you can use. Like for instance, I'll give you one of my top 3 ones.
What was Drew Brees' number?
9.
Number
9.
My fantasy football name would be SPF 9.
Why SPF?
Because he didn't wear sunscreen. He got skin cancer.
He did? Were you talking about the thing on his face?
Yeah.
That's not skin cancer.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
Google
it. He got hit in a game one time.
No, that's not true.
Look it up. Google it.
Drew Brees
scar on his face. It was from he got hit back in the day and he just didn't fix it. Yes.
No.
Yep. Fact check me.
Scar on Drew Brees' face isn't actually a scar. One of the upper part of Drew Brees' right cheek has appeared to have a scar. That's not what it is, though. Brees has had that mark. It's a birthmark.
Oh, so we're both wrong. We can both get fucked.
Well, then that won't be my name.
Yeah, because that was a stupid one anyway. All right, well, here's another example.
It wasn't stupid.
Do you remember Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
Made the news for
beating
his kids.
Yeah.
Now, that's a whole debate in itself. We don't need to get into that. But his last name is Peterson. So what about Adrian Peterson?
Ah, yeah.
So you see where I'm getting at here?
Tebow's tight end.
Sure. Aaron Hernandez's tight end would have been better. But how about this one now?
Hanging with Aaron.
Good. Better. So you're getting it. You're getting it. Hanging with Aaron. So obviously, Tom Brady's famous wife, Gisele Bündchen. Right?
Yeah.
The Brady Bunchin.
Oh.
You like it? Because it's a play on the Brady Bunch, but also on Giselle's last name, which is German, but she's Brazilian.
Derek Carr.
You're Googling them right now, you fucking asshole.
No, I didn't.
know you are. You're Googling, what are fun fantasy football names?
Look, what does that Google right there? What does that say?
Raiders QB.
Yeah, because I knew it was Carr, but I didn't know if he was the QB or something else.
Did you know his brother also played in the NFL and he was number 1 overall draft pick of the expansion team at the time, Houston Texans? He was the first pick.
I want an apology because I was not Googling.
I sincerely apologize with all my heart.
Thank you. I made that one up myself, and that will be my fantasy football team, and I will be you, Ross, and all the other Drinking Bros sports with Derek Carr's wreck. Derek Carr wreck.
Derek's.
I don't know.
Ray Rice's elevator buddy. A little bit of a stretch. How about this one? This is the best one. Ready?
All right. Ray's drive-by.
Raised white suit. My buddy Christian, shout out Christian. He played like intramural flag football in college.
Okay.
And their team name was Ray Lewis Killed a Guy.
Oh,
just straight up like team name. Yeah. Ray Lewis Killed a Guy, which is great, by the way. But my favorite one of all time it's a little dated now, but still, it's timeless.
Okay.
Sandusky Shower Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, ba-dum, boom. That was a perfect opportunity. Noel's like, nah, I don't like that one. This kid's involved. Which is fucked up.
No, fucking go off on Jim Jordan any fucking time you want.
Jim Jordan?
Fuck that asshole.
Who's Jim Jordan?
Look it up.
Jim Jordan?
Is he a pedo?
Jim Jordan.
Related to Michael.
U.S. Congressman.
What, he diddle boys too?
Wrestling coach.
Oh,
let it happen. Let it happen.
Gotcha.
Total cunt.
Fuck him then. Wow. This is the first time that Noel has said cunt before us.
Put a couple of Corona lights on that big boy over there, and all of a sudden, the C word comes out. I like it.
Great. That's
I
great.
like it. Actually,
I can blip it though after the.
No.
We've got to put Noel on the spot. We're going to a tailgate in 8 days. We were just notified late last night as we were trying to plan this whole thing together that our producer from Austin, Texas, will not be accompanying.
We're on our own,
game.
baby.
So maybe if we treated you to a beautiful place to stay, and I don't even know if we have a ticket for the game for that or not. You can have my ticket. You can have my ticket to the game.
Noel's like, I'll sell
in.
that bitch.
But I will give you the most wonderful place to sleep with the most wonderful view of all time and the most wonderful, fabulous dinner and
it's on
pay
a
you.
ghost
We'll talk about it off the air.
Oh, no.
You son of a bitch.
We are fucked.
But we are going to tailgate in 8 days in Charlotte. And I know that we have a really good crowd hosting us. That we are going to a tailgate with, I'm just going to save a whole bunch of surprises for you for later.
Someone add graphics of like question marks above my head right there.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, hammer the like button.
Fantasy football, speaking of.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. As someone, it's basically...
I've never played.
Exactly. So I'm writing
and
the book
I've always wanted to.
Fantasy football for dummies.
Oh, you
right?
are?
Yeah, I'm writing it just for you right now.
We should literally
I'm sure there's already one out there.
Yeah, but
do you think I'm smart enough to write a book? Are you smart enough to write a book?
Well, I am writing a book, and it's almost done. So, joke's on you,
I've read
bitch.
some of it.
You like it?
It was a crisp fall morning, and I didn't have my coffee and donuts yet. I want to do the voiceover.
You remembered it. You remembered it.
Yeah, because it's like the one book I ever read.
I don't talk like an asshole from Boston.
Neither do I. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, fantasy football. Let's get into it. So, I've always made fun of everybody that plays fantasy football. I think people are way too invested in this bullshit, but now my mom is all into it.
Your mom?
Oh, God. She fantasy NASCARs.
Oh, your mom has some fantasies, all right. Wait, fantasy NASCAR? I got confused.
Yeah. She has like a fantasy NASCAR league.
Like on DraftKings, maybe?
I have no idea what the fuck it is, dude.
Fantasy NASCAR.
Yeah, they got like their
you
picks.
know you're a redneck when you do fantasy NASCAR. It's got to be some like white trash city like stand up.
Hilliard, Florida.
Speaking of stand up, you had your first attempt at stand up.
I did get my first. We had our first shot at stand up.
It was a shit show.
But you were it was a shit show. That's the name of the comedy show.
It sure was.
How do you think it went? You got to be honest because we're on air with all the fans and they trust the nest and the honesty.
I enjoyed it. I had fun. I thought it was funny, even though I've heard those stories a million times. I think there's room for improvement on all of us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like the first time you guys tried to do a podcast and I watched and I was like, they need some help.
Yeah.
So I asserted myself in real quick, and now look at us.
The good thing is that people definitely seem to be entertained by it.
Well, you're an entertaining person. That is sure.
We are,
but you were also nervous.
Together.
It was the first time you did Failure to Stop right here from the Failure to Stop studios, and you were like fidgety in your chair, and I texted you. And I was like, "Stop fucking moving!"
Yeah.
Just like me when I did my first show with you guys with Antoine Harris, and my buddies were talking about like, "Dude, stop fixing your headphones, dude. What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't even realize I was doing it."
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. The first time you get up there and play music, first time
there's a moment, there's always a moment. Write that down.
I'm scribing it. I don't know where to go with that one. Other than all I think of
that
it
was
is
the old Mountain Dew commercial, by the way. Before there's a moment, and then it would show them like backstage, like getting ready, slamming a Mountain Dew. There's always a moment.
That sounds like something Mountain Dew would say. Like that's not that deep. Before there's a moment, there's a moment. No fucking shit. And before that, there was another moment, and after that, there'll be another. I heard Mountain Dew lowers your sperm count. Can you
I don't drink Mountain Dew at all.
I don't drink
It was weird
soda.
because when I was a cop, there was people that would wake up. You know, we have to be at the station at like 5:30 in the morning. They be fucking hitting Mountain Dews at 5:40 a.m. I'm like, gross. And then smoking a cigarette right after.
Should have been drinking some Killcliff.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ooh, we'll get to that later, though.
So anyway, let's get into
the fantasy football.
How does it work for dummies? Can I ask you some questions?
You can.
Because when you said we're going to talk fantasy football, I was like, you know what? We might as well not because I don't know anything about it.
Well, it's pretty simple. You have positions, right? You have a collective defense. You don't worry about defensive players individually, just a defense. For instance, the Steelers defense, right? So if the Steelers... The steel curtain with Mean Joe Green. If the Steelers have an interception, waving your fucking terrible towel and wipe my ass with that thing. The little brown skid mark on it for you. But if the Steelers get a pick six, which is an interception for a touchdown for Tansey, you get the points. You get 3 points maybe for the interception and 6 points for the touchdown. Okay. So that the defense gave you 7 points right there, whatever it is. Right. You also draft one quarterback, 2 or 3 running backs, and 2 or 3 wide receivers. So it's like 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex, which is a running back or a wide receiver.
So you don't get to pick any defensive players?
Nope, just a complete defensive unit.
Okay.
So
you can be like Raiders defense.
Yes.
But now if you're drafting and somebody's already picked the Raiders defense, you don't get to pick them as well.
Nope.
So you have to pick another one. And you have to go in order?
Yeah, so it's a snake draft, right? So say it's just us 3 for...
Is it too late to get into any fantasy football league?
No, the season hasn't started yet.
So can you help me get into one?
I can try. I mean, I'm already in 2. That's usually my limit nowadays is 2.
Now, does it cost money?
Well, yeah, if you want to... Yeah, of course.
Okay. How much money are we talking?
It depends. I mean, if everyone, say, pays $100, there's 12 people in the league.
It's $1,200 purse.
Usually they do it like this. First place wins 1,000. Second place gets your money back and an extra 100. Or, you know what I mean?
So have you already done your draft?
No, not yet. I forget what it's scheduled. I can look it up. But all
right, so let's
a few drinking bros in the league. I believe Reed White, who is a loyal listener.
I'm gonna get in this fucking league. If I have to change my name and like sneak into
it, I will.
I'll figure it out.
Help me out.
I want to do my own because I want to fucking win and I want to wipe.
Okay, how about this? Who would you draft if you had the number 1 overall pick? With the number 1 overall pick of the 2021.
Which position?
Fantasy draft. Well, that's the question. Who would you pick? Now,
so I can pick a defense, I can pick a running back, I can pick.
Mm-hmm. Who would be if you had the number?
And it goes on based on points.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you get more points from defense?
Close enough. Close enough on that.
Do you get more points for defenses?
No. You don't want to pay. And that's literally what Ross said. Why you shouldn't be in the league.
No, I'm asking a question.
He said you'd pick a kicker or a defense first, and I go,
no. I would pick. I'd probably. Did you pick a quarterback first?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that as our game show music plays in the background. All I can think about is that video I took of you guys dancing to you and Mike doing the thing. I'm very adamant about not picking a quarterback in the first round because, to get real nerdy on you, the way the league is set up nowadays is these guys are slinging it. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all these guys, so many quarterbacks can put up huge numbers. Now, you mentioned Derek Carr. He is middle of the pack, like dead center middle of the pack when it comes to being a quarterback in the NFL. I would take him on my fantasy team any day of the week because he'll end up throwing you 2 touchdowns a game. And why not? That's great. What you really need to worry about is because there's so many quarterbacks that will give you such good numbers, don't worry about that shit. You want to go running backs or wide receivers first, especially if it's a PPR league. What that means is traditionally with fantasy football, 3 catches would give you 1 point as a wide receiver.
Right.
Now it's every catch gives you a point. PPR is point per reception. A catch as a reception. So Tyreek Hill was great last year. DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, all those guys were the top wide receivers. They get you a lot of points, the yards, the touchdowns.
Can you pick tight ends?
You can. Travis Kelce would be...
I would go full on Gronkowski this year. It's his last year.
Maybe.
Dude's going to go all in.
I mean, the thing with Gronk is, even historically, especially now, though, he has never played a full season, always gets hurt. And for fantasy, that can that can dictate your whole season. You lose one game and you miss the playoffs by one game because that 1 week Gronk was out, you can blame Gronk. And that's why a lot of times people who play fantasy football end up falling in love or hating specific players. I remember one year I made it to the championship and won every game and lost like the Patriots did. And everyone on my team I loved throughout the whole year. And like LaDainian Tomlinson and Wes Welker, I was like, I fucking love these guys because they helped me get to a championship, right? So you can kind of fall in love or end up hating guys based off who you draft in these fantasy football leagues. Now, I wouldn't take Gronk as my first tight end. I would take him, but Travis Kelce, George Kittle, all those guys I would take first over Gronk, even though Gronk and Brady still have the connection. But you also got to think, yeah, maybe Gronk had 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Gronk would.
Is that worth more points if it's in the Super Bowl?
No, because you're never gonna.
But it is
you
more
don't go
points
that
because
far.
there's nobody that is in there.
Exactly, that's why. So usually
it ends before that.
Yeah. So usually the Super Bowl, the championship in fantasy football leagues are the last week or the second to last week of the season. Now the reason why they sometimes do the second to last week of the season is because in the last week a lot of the guys sit out if they're already set in their playoff spot. If the Patriots had the number 1 overall seed, they sit Brady at halftime, and you're in your championship and you have Brady on your team and he only plays the first half, it fucks you. So that's why a lot of times this year we'll see on week 17 is going to be most of the fantasy football championships. But back to the quarterback thing, I would never draft a quarterback in the first round. Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, they're going to put up wild numbers this year.
Yeah.
But let people waste a top
first round pick.
First or even
What's your
second
first round pick?
I go running back.
Okay.
Running backs score the most touchdowns, because you can have a lot of guys like Tyreek Hill, for instance, who give you a big 70-yard reception, rack up, 12 catches, but they don't get into the end zone. They have all these yards. The touchdowns are what matter. That's 6 points. Those add up. You get someone like Zeke Elliott in Dallas or Derrick Henry, the beast in Tennessee, and they get 3 touchdowns that game. 6 times 3, quick.
6 times 3 is 18.
That's 18 points right there. So then you get all those... Math. Yay, math. You add up all those points, and historically running backs will get you the most points. Now, the league changes. It's way more pass happy this year. I wouldn't be afraid to draft a wide receiver in the first round. Devontae Adams would be one. DeAndre Hopkins, who definitely helped me win my championship last year. I would take him. But the problem is with drafting wide receivers high is you also have to look at who's their quarterback, right? So, for instance, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, because like if you try to pick like Mccaffrey for, he's a great running back, but the fucking Panthers aren't going to be putting the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, well, that's
at all
exactly.
This year.
That's a good point by that too, right? And also McCaffrey's coming off an injury. I would still draft him if I had like the 4th overall pick and he's available. I'm taking him. He's a guy who can bounce back from injury. And the thing is, like, you're right. The team's bad. And especially with the running back, if the team's bad, you're going to be down by a lot of points. And
I would go probably somewhere like with the Redskins running back only because their defense is so fucking stout right now that the running back's going to be on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, you would think, but it depends because
then because if you're getting 3 and outs by the defense the whole time and you're on one side of the field, why not just and even if your offense sucks, you can still smash it right up the middle and have great field position for the entire game.
Exactly. And it comes down to what the team is, right? So you can't know who's going to get hurt. But say you draft DeAndre Hopkins first. Kyler Murray, their quarterback, goes down. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be almost useless. I don't even know who the backup is in Arizona right now. That sucks, right? That happens. Devontae Adams is ranked across the board pretty much as the number 1 wide receiver in the league, fantasy-wise, whatever. It also helps that he has Aaron Rodgers thrown to him. Now, if Rodgers held out this year and didn't play, Devontae Adams' stock would plummet, right?
Right.
And like you were talking with Christian McCaffrey, so if a team sucks, and the Panthers will probably be middle of the pack, depends on how Sam Darnold's going to be there. But anyway, running backs, right? If you're down 14 to basically off the jump in the second quarter every game because your team sucks and the defense sucks, you want the wide receivers on that team because a team that's down 14 at halftime isn't going to just run the ball.
They're not running the ball anymore.
They're going to be passing. So the bad teams, you want to stay away from their running backs, even if their running backs are great.
Right.
The thing with Christian McCaffrey, though, is because he's so versatile, he's not a guy who just gets handoffs all the time.
Sure, he's running the screens.
He gets a lot of catches,
slants.
and he can do pretty much anything. So he's a guy that even though his team's bad, I would still take him. But for instance, like last year, a lot of people wanted Zeke, right?
Right.
Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas. Dak Prescott goes down. You think, oh, well, they'll just give it to Zeke. Well, no, they can't because they're going to be down, 2 scores every game, and they're going to be playing catch up. That's why if you want to take anyone from the Cowboys, I take CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be a beast this year. Ross, I know, was also upset that the Falcons didn't grab him a couple of years ago, but I think that's going to be.
I mean, that's the kind of the Falcons. Yeah, that's kind of their mantra.
They might
right?
be. They might
have
be
the perfect
bottom
opportunity.
3.
You might have the perfect opportunity to be a winning season, and you just do the opposite.
Yeah, it's almost like they were up 28-3 and blew it. Oops.
What about defense? Who are you taking on defense?
I mean, you mentioned the Washington R words.
They've got the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah, they do have a really good defense.
I think they have a lot to show for.
They have a great defense, and they play in a weak division. They get to play the Cowboys twice, the Eagles twice,
so you're already picking the
Giants
ball off
twice.
A fuck ton.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
You're
Jalen Hurts,
tons of
Danny
picks.
Dimes. Those are the quarterbacks that are going up
So you
against.
have to go with Washington if it's your first pick and you get a defense because they're going to throw up some good numbers.
Yeah, but the thing with that, to sort of play devil's advocate on that, is their offense I don't think is great. I know some people
Which puts the defense on the field more.
It does.
Which gives you more points.
Or it goes the other way where it gives the offense playing against them more opportunities to score.
Yep.
It's like a high risk, high reward type thing.
Gotcha.
But you never know. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Harvard graduate.
So maybe we go
smart.
maybe we go Tampa Bay then.
Tampa Bay's got a great defense.
But then your defense isn't really on the field all that much anymore. But
so
you've got teams that are far behind and they're having to throw the ball more. Mm-hmm. So you got a strong defense. You're getting more pick sixes. You're getting more.
Sure. But the thing with defenses in fantasy is off the bat, they start off with 10 points. So if they don't give up any points, nothing happens.
Right.
They have 10 points. That's 10 points for your team. And then the reason why is you start off with 10 points and then they give up a touchdown, you minus those points.
Oh, okay.
Instead of starting at 0.
They're not giving up any fucking touchdowns anyway.
The Bucks? I mean, the Bucks have pretty much their whole team. They brought the band back together and they're trying to do it again. Honestly, I'm usually one to say don't do that. You got to switch it up.
So maybe stay middle of the road and go with Baltimore? Or Pittsburgh?
I think Pittsburgh's going to have a better defense. TJ Watt is great. They're going to have a better defense than the Ravens. I would Steelers, but
the Steelers they pretty much stayed drama free through the postseason.
Yeah, until Ben Roethlisberger acts up again. But I mean,
he's not going. He hasn't.
But the thing is, we're spending too much time on the defense because the defense is not important in fantasy football.
We just talked about running backs. We talked about quarterbacks. We talked about defense. What else you want to talk about?
We did. Well, I would talk about how I still want to know what your favorite fantasy football team name is because that's where it starts. So you got to pick a good name first.
So
the U out of nose. The jagged little pills. No, but some of my sleepers, right? The thing with fantasy is a lot of times we all know who the top players are. You want to go grab them, right? You want to get Dalvin Cook in Minnesota. You want to get Derrick Henry. But the best part about it is the sleepers, the guys who you know about. You feel like you might have an inside information or an idea that this guy's going to break out. And, a sleeper is the idea of like, in the 6th or 7th round, I get this guy that nobody even thought of, and he's the top 3 player on my team looking back at it, but he was the 7th guy drafted for my team. Right. You know what I mean? That's the idea of a sleeper. So it's always great to find the sleepers.
My idea of a sleeper is someone who sleeps on a ghost bed. We love Ghost Bed. They have been a loyal sponsor with the Drinking Bros for over the past 5 years.
Veteran move.
Everyone raves about them. They have a super comfortable mattresses that last forever, and they're made in the USA. USA.
I saw you and Mike try to do that. Terrible.
Yeah, we don't have the same connection that we have.
Take that, Mike.
I also don't interrupt him as much as I interrupt you. Every mattress has a 20-year warranty, and you can try it out for 101 nights. Not 99, not 90. 8? Nope, but 101, baby. If you don't like it, you can send it back. No hard feelings. One of our favorite parts about Ghost Bed is that each mattress has that cooling technology. And if you're in North Carolina this week, that cooling technology is an absolute must. We're beating Florida this week. Really? We're beating Orlando, Florida this week. We're hitting the high 95s with a heat index of like fucking 112.
We're beating, but we're not the winner.
Who's the hottest?
No, I'm just saying if you're beating someone in how hot it is, that doesn't make you a winner.
No, it does not. It does not. So I don't know. If you're North Carolina or below, you absolutely have to get that cooling technology so you can stay cool while staying hard, baby. Ghost Bed also offers bundles so you can get everything you need. You don't really even have to think about it. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and then pick your bundle. Whether you just need a mattress, a frame, or you want it all, baby. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. You can get the best bang for your buck. Right now, GhostBed is offering that flash sale. It's still going on, baby. Chugging along, chugga chugga choo choo. 40% off GhostBed bundles where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything if you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros, DRINKIN Bros at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Look, if you buy a GhostBed and you don't use that fucking promo code, hang it up. Hang up them cleats. You can buy a mattress for like $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing if you have mediocre at best credit. Go check them out. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Don't forget about those 15 massage modes with 0 gravity, way less than the competition, 101 night free sleep trial, backed by a 20-year warranty. You cannot go wrong, guys. We absolutely love GhostBed. It is sleep so good, it's scary, kind of like Tom Brady's arm. Ooh, the winds blowing through your. Just kidding. That was some hippie in court. I don't know if anybody saw that. It's a viral video.
The wind cries Mary, my
Do you
friend.
hear that, Judge? That is the wind coursing through your veins, telling you and begging you to do the right thing.
Wow.
Rainbow.
Double rainbow.
You're all jacked up like you drank some Killcliff Flamin' Joe.
Flamin' Joe, Flamin' Joe.
How far can you go? And you got an empty can right up there just for show next to your GhostBed sign.
Oh.
And that's a live show for you, folks.
That's how you know. That's how you
Sorry,
know
GhostBed, we just threw you a sign on the ground, but it was for a good cause to show the Killcliff Flamin' Joe, which they also have a new flavor. Did you see this?
I did.
It's called, was it tequila? Fuck, I forget the name of it. I'm the worst.
Tequila Sunrise.
Tequila Sunrise. It's not called Tequila Sunrise, though. But go ahead, tell the people.
This is our mojito one that just came out too?
No, it's tequila. You're thinking of Instill. It's a different sponsor. But go ahead, tell everyone who invented Killcliff, your favorite.
It was a Green Beret.
He's a Navy SEAL, you fucking piece of shit. Because Navy SEALs are the best branch of the military, as Tansey will tell you, okay? Quitting's never an option. There's no days off. And if you use promo code Drinkin' Bros right now, you can get 30% off. That's the deal of the century. I mean, you got to do it. You get the Flaming Joe, the Mango Tango, the Orange Kush, the Goat, Tom Brady's favorite, the Strawberry Days, and get the Variety Pack. Strawberry Fields Forever Days, which, have you seen that friggin' McCartney 321 yet, Noel?
First two.
It's good, isn't it? It's great. And if you're out there, go watch it. It's really good. Anyway, it's on Hulu. But if you use promo code Drinkin' Bros, you get 30% off. Get the Ignite if you're tailgating this year, because you want to be on our level. You want to be as jacked up as Tansey is to talk about fantasy football right now. And
sports.
I mean, the Flamin' Joe is awesome. Anything related to Joe Rogan is great. That video that I sent you where Rogan has like the voiceover that's all edited. Joe Rogan is an American hero. I just got to say. Anyway, there's no sugar. 20 calories per can, B vitamins, electrolytes. It's all naturally flavored.
Ooh,
natural.
I like natties, baby.
And also, like I always talk about the apparel that they have. I'll probably wear my Killcliff shirt to our first tailgate in honor of our awesome sponsor that we appreciate so much. And go and buy a couple shirts, rock them, take pictures of yourself in them on your GhostBed, fully clothed, please. Unless you want to slide into Tansey's DMs.
Ooh. Come on, slide in there. Send me them dick
talking about fantasy. Yeah, I mean, he asked for them. I
don't know.
What's the promo code again? Tansey, tell him. Tell the people the promo code.
KL.
Jesus Christ, he does this every time. He doesn't pay attention. The promo code is Drinkin' Bros. That's how you get 30%
DRINKINBROS. Yeah,
that was pretty good. That was good.
We're good at that.
Yeah.
We look into each other's eyes.
Yeah.
We time each other. We finish each other's sentences.
You always maintain eye contact.
You can't get pregnant.
Well, some might argue men can these days, but that's a whole different topic. But what isn't up for debate is that Killcliff is the number one product. CBD, energizing.
Drink it every day, baby. I drink it every day.
And you get to wear the awesome shirts. Use promo code Drinkin' Bros, 30% off. Do it now. then go back to YouTube and hammer that like button.
Do it. You got to hammer that like button. And listen, go to Drinking Bros Sports on iTunes and give us that 5-star rating. It really helps move us up the charts, especially going into the sports season. We want to be the number one network, the sports network. So it's not just Drinking Bros Sports, Tailgate Legends, but you got the Monday morning recap. You've got
and we support all those shows, but we want to be better than them too.
Well,
let's be honest.
We can only do that by being entertaining and getting the most views.
And you got to try your best. That's all you can do, isn't it?
But let's jump back into fantasy football right quick.
Well, I was going to talk about my sleepers. Right before you talked about sleeping on a ghost bed. Some of my big sleepers, no surprise, right? My first sleeper is going to be a Patriots player. But Damian Harris is a running back out of Alabama. They just traded Sony Michel, which I wish I said on the last show that I had this idea. Maybe I did and I forgot. But Sony Michel, the Rams running back goes down, and I'm like, perfect thing to do for the Patriots would be trade Sony Michel to the Rams and get a couple draft picks, because I'm all done with Sony Michel. And sure enough, what do they do a couple weeks later? Joe Stradamus strikes again. They trade Sony Michel to the Rams, which is really going to open things up for Damian Harris. Again, former Alabama running back. We all know Alabama running backs are always great. I think that he showed signs last year. He sat out like the first 4 or 5 games, and everyone was like, what the fuck? It was almost like a redshirt year for him, a half redshirt year. And I think he's going to get the workload of carries, probably the most touchdowns for the Patriots. And with this offense, with Cam or Mac, who the fuck knows, I would definitely hammer the Patriots running backs this year. The number one is Damian Harris. Now, speaking of Harris, another Harris is Najee Harris, who plays for this.
Yes, he does.
This team right here.
We've always had good luck with Harris's.
Do you?
Yeah, and not Antoine Harris. He played for the Patriots, but what was the linebacker Harris played for the Steelers?
James Harrison. Close. He also played for the Patriots at the end. But anyway, Najee Harris is going to be a beast. He's going to be. I don't know if I take him as a sleeper this year for sure. I mean, if you can get him in the 4th round, that's a fucking steal in my eyes. I think he's going to be good for a long time with them too. So maybe next year he really breaks out. But Najee Harris, I think he's the type of guy, we talked about Christian McCaffrey, right? He's a running back, gets a lot of carries and touches, but he's going to catch passes out of the backfield. This dude is like a hybrid in every sense of the word, that he can catch. He can run routes out of the backfield. He's extremely talented. He's on a good team, a good offense. They know what they're doing in Pittsburgh. As much as I shit all over them, they know what they're doing. I would take Najee Harris.
We're going to Pittsburgh for a tailgate. So if you're out there in Pittsburgh and you want to host us at your famous tailgate, maybe James Morgan's tailgate, he's got a good one out there. That's one I've been to in the past.
Never been to Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's one of my favorite towns of all time.
The Steel City, they call it.
It is.
And I'll give you one more sleeper. So in Denver, they're really high up there, a mile high. And they just named two-glove Teddy Bridgewater their quarterback, which they went back and forth between him and Drew Lock. That's true. Tim Tebow did play for the Broncos. I saw him play against the Patriots, playoff game. Yeah, Brady smoked him. It was like 35 to 6. But anyway, Jerry Judy is a beast, and I think that you are just pounding these beers way faster than me, because I didn't even get another one, but that's okay. Jerry Judy, I think, is going to be a beast. I think he's going to be...
Maybe you should stop being such a pussy. The show's called fucking Drinking Bros, you pussy.
Okay. You didn't have to be so mean about it.
That was the beer.
Fucking asshole.
That was the beer talking. Anyway,
Jerry Judy, I think, will be a great sleeper to have as your number 2 wide receiver, right? You don't want to spend a 2nd-round draft pick on him or anything. That's why these are sleepers, people. Guys you can get in the later rounds that might end up helping your team later on down the road. I think Jerry Judy is a good pick there. I think he's going to be the go-to target. They have weapons. Cortland Sutton's really good in Denver. And if Teddy can keep it together, I think he's pretty serviceable. I remember when we had Curtis on not too long ago, although that was probably in April now. I guess it was longer ago than I thought. He was shitting all over Teddy Bridgewater because he used to play for the Panthers.
Right.
I think Teddy's pretty fucking good. I think he's beyond serviceable. I think he's like Alex Smith 2.0, where he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he'll put up enough numbers where you can draft one of his wide receivers and have it be good for your team. So those are my 3 sleepers, Damian and Najee Harris and Jerry Judy. Those would be my top 3 sleepers.
There you go.
Could you say sleeper like I say it?
Sleeper.
I hardly know her.
Sleeper.
What were you going to ask me about my sleepers, though?
I don't know. I can't remember. I've had too many beers.
Jesus Christ.
But I do have the name of my fantasy football team.
Oh, okay. What did you find on Google?
I didn't. This is all on my own. I think Rogers. It's either going to be Rogers Cuckolds or Aaron's Cuckold. What do you think?
I mean, a little bit of a stretch, but sure, we'll go for it. Hey, Rogers. Discount double check. Remember that?
Yeah.
We did the whole discount double check. It's fine. I don't think he does those commercials anymore.
Discount double cuck.
Ooh, whoa. Hello. Now we're talking real fantasies, aren't we? That doesn't involve footballs. But real quick, I want to switch.
That wasn't a good name?
I want to switch. No. I want to switch gears to a different sport real quick.
Trying.
As someone with kids,
Okay.
I want to get your perspective on this. I have a feeling Noel's not going to like this one.
I hate my kids.
The Little League World Series. ESPN shoves it down your throat because they carry it. I get that.
Can I interrupt you or?
I mean, you never do. You never interrupt.
Let me let you finish. Let me let you finish.
I think it's stupid. I don't care about it. Even when I was a kid and I was in Little League, I didn't care about it. In fact, Saugus was third in the world one year.
Okay.
My town of Saugus made it to maybe fourth.
That's a terrible name for a town. Like, it just sounds like soggy. Like, what a fucking...
Yeah. Next to moist.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah, like soggy.
Moist like a towel.
Like
Drive through soggy to get to moist.
Yeah, it might as well be called like fucking moist.
But go on with you hating on kids. Let's hear this. Finish it off.
I do hate kids. I'm not going to lie. I go to the pool and I hear them like screaming and I'm just like, I never want to have anyone birth my child. I never want to reproduce. I fucking hate
gay
kids.
dudes can't have kids.
Apple doesn't fall far.
I guess they can, but
Is that could be a knock to my mom too. But anyway, I just think
you can't produce kids is what I'm trying to say.
You don't know that.
You can't get pregnant.
I could produce the goods to get
but I'm
someone
talking
pregnant.
about like no, because
You can certainly get someone pregnant, can't you?
You can't get another dude
Pull out
pregnant.
game week for Eric Tansey.
You can't get another dude pregnant, Joe.
I can try.
Well,
I've been trying for years now. No, the thing with the Little League World Series, it's nice for the kids, don't get me wrong, but you get a lot of it is this like, there's way too much sportsmanship. I know how that sounds, but there is. These kids are hitting ding dongs, which is a home run, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And they're going, they're running over the home plate, and the pitcher's like, "High five, great job for hitting the home run off of me."
Smoking my fastball.
Like, what the fuck is this? Like, show some real competition, some grit, and be like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna get you
play ball
next time."
like a girl.
Yeah, that's the pussification of America right there. And then you got these coaches who want to make
killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, you got these coaches who want to make it about themselves and like. There's a story of this one coach who's been coaching Little League for like way too long. You should only be coaching Little League if your kid's on the fucking team.
Preach.
And he went to Williamsport, where the Little League World Series is, just as like a little vacation. Yeah. But he wouldn't step into the stadium because he goes, "I only want to get there when I deserve to be
earned
there."
It.
What a fucking loser! You're a Little League coach.
Okay,
you're trying to live vicariously through these kids because you never made it.
Yeah.
And that's why like. The idea of Little League is great, but this Little League World Series is bullshit.
Can I jump in? I mean, my wife wanted, our kids have great arms and they can throw a ball really well.
Great hair too.
And they have great hair. And matter of fact, we went to a baseball game and you could pitch the ball through the hole, and my son was wearing rain boots to the baseball game. Don't ask me why. We forgot his shoes and all that was in the van was rain boots.
They have fucking Pokemon here?
They have fucking Pokemon here? That was a shout out to my 3-year-old. But at the time, my 4-year-old, we were at the Mudcats game and they had a thing where you could throw a ball through a hole and it would rate the speed of the ball. And my son threw a strike. I'll put it up on Instagram so you guys can see.
You have the video.
22-mile-an-hour strike. Huh? And immediately everybody in line was like, "Whoa, who does your son play for? How long has he been playing?" And I'm like, he's 4.
Yeah.
How long has he been playing?
About.
He's fucking 4 years old. And they were like, "Oh man, he's a natural one." No, he's not, right? Like he probably got lucky. Like I would have to say, like, throw that fucking pitch 4 or 5 more times. He's wearing rain boots. He's never played a game of baseball in his life. I have a real problem with baseball because if you go to a skate park and you look at the parents at the skate park, your son, their sons are failing over and over again, and their parents are cheering them on almost for failing, right? Because your son gets super close to landing a kickflip and you're like, "Oh my God, high five." Like you got both feet on the board. It's just the board was upside down. or you aired out and you got really good air and you landed it, but you fell at the end, and you're super proud of them. In baseball, the parents are so overbearing, so overwatching. I know a group, and I'm good friends with these people, and I don't know if they listen to the show or not, and I hope they don't take offense to this, but their kid plays baseball like 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and then they complain that their kid doesn't get to play on the field enough. Then why the fuck is he practicing 6 days a week?
You should see hockey.
Oh,
it's a whole other level.
I don't want to. Like, I mean,
it's unbelievable.
To call a kid a natural is the dumbest thing ever, because these kids aren't ever going to grow up. Like all the kids I played baseball my whole life growing up. And I just used to laugh at these kids who just thought that baseball was the end all be all. It's fun. It's great, but you don't have to play 7 days a week. And guess what? If you're not going to be a major leaguer, that's fine too. And I would argue that if you're going to be a major leaguer, you still don't need to play 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids,
and in fact, they don't. The major leaguers don't. You know, but you're right, because it does come down to the parents. Because
the parents are the worst. Baseball parents are the worst. That's why my kids play rugby. And it's true. Like rugby parents don't
I'm
going to
say that hockey parents are the worst.
Just sports parents in general.
I'm from the South, so we didn't have hockey parents.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well,
right?
I'm not that familiar with it till I saw what my brother went through, and it's completely out of fucking control.
Yeah, no, it is. I know firsthand.
Get your kids into rugby.
20. Yeah, you got that right.
Hockey's obviously big in Boston, much bigger than Florida. But no, it does all come down to the parents, because like what you were talking about, investing in these kids, like you got to play every day. Now, me growing up, I loved baseball, football, basketball. It meant so much to me. I would live and die by it. I would, get nervous, and it would mean so much. And it wasn't because my mom, obviously not because my dad, right?
It wasn't going there.
It wasn't because my mom was like, "You gotta go play baseball." She was like, "Yeah, play if you want. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever the fuck you want." But I loved it personally. I wanted to go, and it meant it meant everything to me as a kid. If that's the way it is with these kids, then that's fine. I have no problem with that, because I was the same way. But when it's these parents who are telling these kids, you need to go play baseball, it's like when I taught guitar, and my young students would be like, I don't know, my parents are making me play guitar. I don't even listen to music. I don't know. And I'm like, all right, this is going to make it tough for me. I'll still do it. I'll see if I can, find something in you that you will like or whatever. But anytime these parents are reinforcing their kids to like, you have to be this, rather than letting them individually sort of figure themselves out. I mean, I'm not a parent. I don't know shit. You guys know better than me, but I just don't think that does anything for the kid. And a lot of times it's these parents making it about themselves, where, they peaked in high school and they're trying to relive the glory days through their kids. Those are the worst types of parents. And that's what the Little League World Series is
and
about.
Everybody that I watch play baseball, it's like when they come up to you, like my kid plays rugby, but I've never once gone to a parent at my distillery and be like, my son, he made 6 tackles and, just absolutely, we don't even talk about it. Like you go, you play rugby, you have a good time. We have fun. Post a couple of pictures, you have fun with it. But any baseball parent, and my kids don't play baseball, they're like, man, my son's been playing with this kid named Jordan, and he's just a natural. I mean, this kid's already got scouts look out. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. How old is he? And they're like, oh, he's 8. And I'm like, what? Fuck off, dude. This kid could he could knock somebody up in the 8th grade, and there goes all those dreams. Yeah. I don't know. Baseball people are weird. They spend way too much fucking money on this game. You don't need to be buying these bats. I don't know. It's just, maybe, listen.
And you don't even need to play Little League.
It's you. Go free. Do you. I believe in fun and sportsmanship and
to an extent.
Fucking raging.
I believe in competition. But anyway,
8 days.
Well, real quick, I want to have one more Little League story that I think is pretty funny. I obviously played Little League, but then I would ump Little League after when I was in high school as a little side hustle. And I was... Creepy. Why? I was like 14. It's not creepy. If I was doing it now, like maybe it'd be kind of creepy. I did it for a little extra, money to go spend on my girlfriends back then. But anyway, 14, I wasn't smoking bud yet. It's probably like 15. But anyway, I was umping my little brother's game, which seems like a conflict of interest, right? But my mom's in the stands, and my brother's rounding third base, and he's heading home like Meatloaf. Okay. Stop right there. He slides into home. The tag's in, and he's out. So, of course, he slides in. I go, "You're out." First thing I hear is my mom in the stands. What? Are you serious? No dinner for you. And I'm like... Everyone in the crowd's laughing, and everyone knows that's like my little brother. And he like looks up and be like, dude. And I'm like, You were out. What do you want me to do? I mean, if I said he was safe when he was out, could you imagine? Especially the Little League parents we were just talking about. This collusion. This game is under protest. It's because it's his little brother. So, I mean, I called what I saw, and he was fucking out. It is what it is. But the reaction from the parents in the stands was great. My mom was like, what? No dinner, Joseph.
Oh, man. I'm trying to...
You want to look up Clemson, Georgia?
Nope. We'll be there in 8 days.
Yeah,
and if anybody else is going to be there, let us know.
I know Bradley Yandel was texting me before the show. Shout out Bradley Yandel. He's trying to tag along. He's also asking me for tickets. Nice try, Bradley.
What's a famous baseball player that's nickname was Bambi?
Bambi?
Yeah.
The great Bambino, Babe Ruth?
No.
Bambi?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did his mom get
Super
shot?
famous.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Probably went to Florida State.
A baseball player went to Florida State. His nickname is Bambi. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why?
How about LSU? No, Vanderbilt. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
No, I went to a baseball game. You were talking about heckling, and I went to a baseball game.
Yeah.
It was the Gators, and I believe it was Gators versus. It was either Vanderbilt or Florida State or LSU. One of those.
Hamburger?
No, he's famous. Like everybody knows.
Well, it was
him.
probably LSU or Vanderbilt because they're on the SEC with
the guy played left field. What are some famous left fielders?
Dude, he probably just played college baseball and never made it.
No, he made it. Everybody knows him. I just can't remember his name
Everybody knows him except for you and me. I mean, what are you talking about?
Oh, God.
I don't think it seems that important, though.
It is because, hang on, left fielder. Let me do it. Left fielder, nickname, Bambi.
Cringe.
What do you mean cringe?
Because, like, you're looking stuff up. This is terrible for our audience. This is not good for a podcast.
Well, this is at the end of the show. Who gives a shit?
What? Who says it's the end? It's not the end until I fucking say it's the end.
Anyway, there was
This is the end.
You were talking about heckling, and when I went to a Florida Gators game, and there was a left fielder. Everybody was calling him Bambi. And every time he would do something, we'd all yell, Bambi, Bambi, Bambi.
Did you get
You suck! And everybody would yell it, and it was so funny. And he was laughing, and he dropped a fly ball in that game, and everybody just went nuts. And he was amazing, and I still got his autograph. And he's a famous baseball player.
Bambi?
He was a...
He's so
he ended up
famous, he
becoming
doesn't know who it
somebody.
is.
I just can't remember who it is.
But that's the thing. You said he was laughing. That's what you have to do in that situation. If you start chirping back, the fans have won. There's a new trend going on now that people are taking videos of people in the outfield. For instance, Bryce Harper was one of these people. And they yell at the people in the outfield like, Bryce Harper, 1 for ass, 2 for boobs. And he'll put his hand behind his back and flash a 1 or a 2 and get everyone, 2, he likes boobs better, yeah. Which I think is great. I mean, have fun with it. There's a cool video of Aaron Judge playing catch with a kid who's sitting out in the outfield, and he's just, warming up, playing catch with him. Like, that's the cool part about baseball, not the fucking Little League World Series where these fucking coaches are trying to, look at me. I'm a coach of Chinese Taipei because we don't say Thailand or whatever the fuck.
So if we're getting, if we have the game in 8 days, so that means 1 week from today.
It's been one week since you looked at me.
So next Thursday, we'll be down in the Charlotte area.
We will be.
So the game's on Friday?
What's the 4th?
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know. It's a Saturday. Yeah, it's a Saturday like most college football
Okay,
games
so we'll
are.
be down there on Friday. So if you're going to be in the Charlotte area and you're drinking,
We'll be
bro.
there Saturday too, though, because we're going to the game.
You let me finish, or do you want to?
I'm gonna let you
keep
finish.
interrupting me?
I'm gonna let you finish.
We'll be down there on Friday. If anybody wants to hang out with us, Friday evening, we will
night
be
game.
down there, and then we will be there tailgating all day on Saturday. We're going to be going all in. We're going to do
Nice
the
and
food.
lubed up.
We'd like to just join a tailgate. I don't want to travel with the grill and all those things. I just want to set up the table and all the things. So if you're tailgating, and I know we have one tailgate that we have to visit, but if you have a tailgate that you'd like us to shoot our podcast at for the opening game in Charlotte, let us know what you got planned. Hit us up on the social media webs.
Instagram at BostonJoe16, Instagram at
go.
EricTansey_official, on the Drinking Bro Sports Facebook page. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I put out that message and people like, oh, go to this one, go to that one. Yeah, that's fine. I would love to go to all these ones. ECU was mentioned. We're definitely going to do that. We have to go to ECU. Maybe we'll do a Duke game or a UNC game. UNC is going to be good this year. Sam Howell, that quarterback, Heisman Trophy potential winner, depending on how his season goes. Mac Brown's back there. He's honestly, I think he's got a team that has the best jerseys in all of college football.
Who is it?
UNC. I love Tar Heel blue.
Really?
Yeah, I've noticed down here people.
Gross.
You know, I've noticed a lot of people down here like fuck those colors, but everywhere outside of North Carolina, people like, oh, those.
They're
Yeah,
the
right.
worst.
It's great. It's fucking great. What are you talking about?
Oh, Wolfpack's got a much better uniform with the pinstripes.
I do like the. I mean, I've adopted the NC State Wolfpack as my college football team, Wolfpack. But it's mostly because my dog looks like the mascot. But that's a whole different story. Which, by the way, all the people out there who didn't see Dexter, go back to that episode at my house and hammer the like button on YouTube and see how handsome my dog was. So beautiful that even Noel gave him a compliment.
I like pinstripes on a baseball uniform still, and the high socks. Fuck you and your
Like the stirrup
unbloused
socks?
Yeah.
Unbloused socks. I mean, I was a high sock type of guy.
When you unblouse your fucking shit, you look like an idiot.
Well, let me ask you this: when you were a cop,
Yeah.
did you watch film of like yourself if there was those body cam footage
Yes,
or if it's that, right?
absolutely, 100%.
So the 49ers are tracking
Mandating.
No, well, not mandating.
Well, but they're tracking to see how much film you watch
Yes.
to make sure that you're not.
Yes.
To make sure that you are watching film. I have a hard time with
Mandating,
homework.
yeah.
And
Me too. I never
mandating
did it.
anything. Look, you've got to, at some point, you got to separate work from family. And if
You
you're
gotta have
forced to
trust,
watch film,
too, right?
And you have to have trust that you know what you're doing. Like, look, I don't do well in life with rugby, for instance. We play rugby. I do not like warm up on game day for rugby. I don't like doing all the passing drills. I don't like doing all the things. Like, I want to get my brain right. I've already done all that shit all week. I can warm up on my own. I can throw the ball to myself. I want to be alone all the way until the game starts. I don't want to be joining you. I don't want to be locking heads. I can stretch my neck
Just
on
like
my
Miles
own.
Davis. Miles Davis used to say, "Save it for the stage, man."
I don't need any of that.
Save it.
Yeah.
Does the lion stretch before it catches its prey? No, it just wakes up and it gets to work. But for me personally, it takes away from me getting sweaty, getting hot, and not having the time to get mentally prepared. They're like, well, you should have done that before the game. No, then that's too much time. That's too much mental thought. Like, I want 30 minutes for the kickoff. I want to be staring at my opponents. I want to be looking at my opponents. I want to be picturing how I'm going to tackle my opponents. That's where I need to be. So I think at this level, at a professional level, you need to let those dudes be those dudes. And if they don't perform and they fuck up, then you got to call them out on it and say, what you're doing is not working because you suck last week. We're going to try something new.
Yeah. And it's almost like what we were talking about with like kids and their parents making them play sports. Like, if you're telling someone to do something, their heart's not in it. They don't want to do it. What's the point? So you kind of want guys like Tom Brady who will religiously watch film without being told, right?
Sure.
But the reason why I brought it up, honestly, is because there's a funny story where Jamarcus Russell, former LSU quarterback, #1 overall draft pick by the then Oakland Raiders. He had all the talent in the world, physical specimen, but he seemed to be a dumbass. So there was a story that the Raiders gave him it was, I think 2007, but they gave him like a blank DVD or a blank VHS. Here's some film. Comes back the next day. They're like, so what did you think of the film? Yeah, so I learned a lot. Well, it was blank to test him.
It was Schindler's List.
He's like, yeah, it was the first time I ever saw boobies in a bush. So no, they gave him a blank tape.
It's a great film.
They gave him a blank tape to watch. To test him. Obviously, he didn't watch it, and they're like, "So how was it?" Yeah, I learned a lot from that film. And they're like, "Oh Jesus,
dude,
we just invested so much into this guy, #1 overall pick. Back when those guys used to get paid #1 overall picks, and he just lied to our face."
Yeah, I don't agree with lying. And if I was the coach of a team, lying would be the first thing to get you kicked off the team.
Right.
I have zero tolerance for lying, especially in a business setting, in a professional setting. You don't have time for that. It takes away from everybody, and I would even say that like retarding the truth in any way is kind of a lie in a business setting. And again, if you're storytelling, if you're using comedy,
fudging it.
You know what I mean? Like, go for it. But if it's in a business setting and you are working with people and you're on a team,
or even a lie of omission, just by not telling somebody what they need to know. I mean, I don't fuck with that shit either.
Because it fucks the whole team, right? And everybody loses. So I'm all into, Jocko says extreme ownership. I'm into extreme honesty. So I would have to kick him off the team simply for lying about the film.
That'd be
I'd want to know that you would have to tell me I didn't watch that film or you'd be fucked.
I think it sets a precedent for like him the rest of the year where it's like, we know we can't trust you. I mean, how do you invest in a guy like that?
You can't trust him.
He obviously didn't end up making it, by the way.
Extreme ownership and extreme honesty are two things that make you a great human being. If you can be honest about your mistakes and you can be truthful about your mistakes and you can fix all your mistakes, and if you're fixing your mistakes, you're becoming the ultimate, human being.
Sure.
And you need a whole team full of those kinds of people in order to execute extreme victories. I guarantee you that fucking Tom Brady doesn't lie to Gronkowski, and Gronkowski doesn't lie. Hey, Gronk, did you fucking shoot a porno while wearing your jersey? Yes. Yeah, I did. Do you understand why that's stupid and why that takes away and that you're not? Yeah, I do. Because I don't remember him being very deceitful in those times. I remember
Gronk was almost too honest.
And that's what you need. That's what you need. But anyway, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got to pee worse than I've ever had to pee in my life. I'm a little bit drunk. From Boston Joe, Eric Tansey, and our beautiful producer, Noah White, this is Drinking Bro Sports Tailgate Legends. We'll see you in a week in Charlotte, everybody. Cheers.